Hello friends, today I have a different setting. I believe this is more presentable, easier for you to watch, and I will take things slowly. Usually I rush, and my hands are freer. I can express myself better, I think, as a way of healthier human interaction, despite being through the camera. And I have tea, which is quite cozy. So today's topic, morality. Um, it is the most crucial thing for humans to be moral. And we know that there were discussions, Confucius, Taoism, etc. You know, um, some were saying we must be moral and we must follow these rules. And the moral construct of the society uh, will guide people to be harmonious. And these moral constructs, we must realize, are usually under the technological civilization that is itself not harmonious, is itself destructive, so immoral. Itself is immoral, and it has some moral codes to guide people, you know, in helping the destruction. Uh, and we expect people, and some call these people moral. So this is morality for, I believe, most people, I'm afraid. And under those circumstances, I came up with the concept of, you know, clearly dividing the morality into two: um, absolute morality and relative morality. Relative morality is an artificial morality; it is not a real morality. Absolute morality is the real morality that uh, comes from the feeling of doing the right thing in the greater picture. Um, so people traumatize people. I have mentioned this in my book. If you want to go and read in more detail, the Connection 2023 book. The link is under my documentary, The Connection 2021, short documentary, and I have discussed there and explained, different aspects uh, of this concept, and I use this in my daily life quite often when I interact with people. I categorize them. I say this was a behavior of, this is like absolute morality, and this one is relative morality. And people might say, "Well, we are just discriminating against people." Well, I am being realistic. Being realistic is very important, so we don't live in delusions. And from my experience, I realize that people are different. Some are harmonious with the rest, and some are quite, ill, mentally ill, most I believe, uh, because they are moving under this technological civilization, the moral code of the technological civilization. So they are programmed by the moral code that is destructive. Um, so let's touch briefly to absolute morality, which is easier to understand. It's very straightforward. Uh, Compassion, peace, real sincerity, uh, realizing that others are like and unity, the feeling of the great unity of nature, protecting nature, pristine nature, healthy, respecting every being, uh, you know, this type of, and being able to sacrifice from yourself, uh, you know, being okay with being excluded, from the mainstream society, you know, from their hierarchies, etc. Because you follow, you know that these are your absolute values. These are the, you know, like for example, vegans. They show the signs of absolute morality. So they say, society, I know you know this. I know I might have difficult time if I don't do this, but you know what? I will do the right thing. I will be vegan, right? So this is a sign of absolute morality, and I will immediately categorize. So not all vegans, you know, are having, you know, they have they people call okay themselves I'm vegan, but you know I look at other things as well. So immediately this person, okay, probably, you know, highly likely to have absolute morality if they are really vegan. But let's examine that as well. Um, on the other side, the relative morality, they are motivated by fear, fear of exclusion, fear of being powerless, and it doesn't matter which political side you take in the, you know, theater, political theater, left, right, it doesn't matter. Um, uh, you, as long as you are fearful and you want to be powerful one way or another within the human uh, created systems, technological system, you are um, uh, showing the signs of relative morality. And these people usually they tend to value hierarchies within the technological civilization. So, what kind of things? You know, artificial constructs of groups and competition, and you know, I am higher than you are higher than me, etc. These comparisons. What type of things are included in that? Sports team fanatics. So if someone talks about football all the time, I categorize this guy probably, or you know, girl might highly likely have relative morality. So probably they're not going to go vegan if they're this fanatic. You know, like there is some correlation there. And I'm not saying that there are no vegans that that doesn't support some team or being team fanatics, etc. I'm saying there is a correlation. It's not maybe 100%, but I believe this is the case for most of the time. So, sports team fanatics, political party fanatics, like left and right, and even socialism and capitalism, these type of things. Because socialism says the power must be with the workers. It seems fair. It seems more, moral. It's closer to the absolute morality because they realize, oh look, we must be equal here, etc. But still, they ignore uh, the destruction that's going on in the nature, etc. So, uh, and usually these people they want socialism or communism, whatever, because they want to be powerful. They feel that they are oppressed. They are, someone is above them, the bosses, whatever. So they want to fit in the, become, higher or at least equal. So they are still concerned about the human construct of hierarchy and the technology within the technological civilization. So still, I don't consider that as real morality, as the absolute morality. Still, there, in many cases, uh, show signs of relative morality, fake morality. Um, Another one, chasing the status in a company, you know, uh, going higher and higher within the company. I want to have, more power within the company. Um, Internalizing the company values. Some people, they behave like, they are the company. They are so willing to progress the company. They are so willing to put themselves into company and or the political parties or whatever. These people with relative morality, wherever they go, they put themselves fully within those, artificial systems, uh, that they must be really stupid to believe that this is something sane or logical to do. It's just no different than, you know uh, saying, oh, this football team is, better than that one, etc., and I will follow this fanatically. you know it is meaningless in the big picture, but these people, they take it seriously, and they just give their lives, and I just look at them and say, wait a minute, don't you have another meaning in your life? Your life is that miserable that you have to, yeah, you just feel the need to just give yourself 100% to this. I mean, uh, it's absurd to me because they must be blind not to realize that this is nonsense, right? So they must be more concerned about their place in the human power structure than what is going on in the big picture, in reality. You know what I mean? Like, a company might sell nonsense stuff like, creams that, doesn't work, and, just, cosmetics, etc., and people can just compete in that, in higher and higher positions, and they can even, you know there is a fear of fitting in. If I don't fit in, maybe I will be kicked out, maybe I will go on the street, maybe I will die. And this fear basically outweighs the compassion that they feel. Um, and unfortunately, many people I see that they are, operating at this fear based morality, fake morality. Um, Nationalism is another thing. Um, you know, we want to keep, of course, it is not natural for cultures to mix together and trying to get along because globalists, you know, you know, technological civilization said so, found appropriate to do so, bringing cheap labor, etc., and just mixing everything together, and creating chaos, and then there are some frictions from that, obviously. Of course, the resolution of that friction feels like progress because the friction is resolving, and people, trying to find harmony back again, and you have a new culture forming, and okay, this feels okay now. But guess what? It was like that, even better. It was much more harmonious before mixing. So, um, the quiet of harmony, natural harmony, uh, is lost on these people, the relative morality people. They don't think in terms of harmony, um, unfortunately. So, the basic reason is their traumas, preventing them from having the absolute uh, morality. And I'm not saying, 100% of the time these people behave like that. No. I'm just saying, when they feel fearful, they just go towards the relative morality, fake morality. And when they maybe have that day, maybe they feel more courage and they feel better and they can bring the compassion, maybe someone support them, they feel safer, and they might behave in, you know, with absolute morality. Um, but I'm just talking about general tendencies. Okay. Um, so this is what I mean basically by morality. And absolute morality people, they are realistic, more realistic. Relative morality people, they are delusional, because you have to be delusional to go along and to fit in. You can't be realistic. You can't just realize fully, internalize what you are doing and still be okay with it. You have to fool yourself. You have to find excuses to be able to fit in. So you get the habit of delusional, get into the habit of delusional thinking. Um, and how to uh, overcome this? We need to heal people, which is, I say, the most difficult thing. But the most critical thing uh, today is healing people's bodies and minds. Uh, Getting rid of traumas, making them feel safer, more accepted, but not by, you know, fitting them into this sick society, but by um, showing them that there is a greater harmony around them. There is nature. There is, more to this life than this, hierarchical, technological civilization, uh, domination type of thing. And it was a part of disturbance. I mean, it started like that, and inherently, um, unfortunately, this was the inevitable outcome when people chase technological means, technological civilization. They wanted it, and this was the inevitable outcome um, of, disharmony, chaos, and loss of meaning. And I believe these people with uh, relative morality, because they don't have a deeper meaning, that's why they go towards the artificial, superficial things to make themselves feel more meaningful. They, football fanatics or sports team fanatics, they want to feel meaningful, and they can delusionally fool themselves that this matters. And oh, look, all of us, we are just valuing this. I feel okay, I feel accepted, right? Um, you know, People have to, with, relative morality, they have to fool themselves to feel meaningful. Oh, look, I have this shiny thing here. It was expensive, so I feel valuable. You see, like, things that don't matters to them, because they don't have, due to their fears, they abandoned the real values to fit into the sick society. So how to heal them? I don't know. And I'm making these videos with the hope that people have enough capacity to heal and go back to the absolute morality. That is, the Taoists are talking about this. They were talking about when they were saying right behavior, the Wu Wei, or the way, or, the real morality. They were talking about this absolute morality, that people, it comes from within, and you feel it, and you say murdering animals is wrong. You feel it. If you are healthy, not a psychopathic person, right? If you just healed, you say this is wrong because you have empathy. We are humans. Our nature demands empathy. And when you see mining, right? You say this is wrong. You don't need to have calculations. You don't need to calculate a model, or in the future this, it will increase this much degrees Celsius, and we will cause this much, extinction, etc. You might complicate things, but the morality, the absolute morality that you have within already, your instincts, You can say that if something is right or wrong, uh, you can just look at mining and you realize that this doesn't look okay. This is, you know, uh, this is destructive. It's very obvious. You cut down trees. You just, you know, pollutants flow. You can see it with your eyes, right? I mean, here in Cyprus, they are mining to build buildings, to get richer, richer, economically rich, I say, yeah, economically developed. Um, and you look at the mountains; they are like virus is eating the mountains, right? You can see it. You can see the deforestation. I mean, you can see that if you are living in a city that is ugly. I mean, if you are in with touch with your instincts, with your absolute morality, you can feel these things. You know, it is. That's why people go into nature and say, okay, oh, this is really nice. I love nature, calming, comfortable. I mean, not always, but peaceful, right? Uh, Heavenly sometimes. How can you feel heavenly within a city in New York, let's say, right? I mean, that's why I don't want to complicate things uh, when I'm trying to, like, especially more and more I realize that we don't need all the complications because people are not going to get the complicated side. They just want to know, they just need to know that uh, their morality is based on their fears and they need to heal it because it is not beneficial for them either. And I don't know how to do it. That's the problem. Um, I don't know how to make people see this, and because as a vegan of 7 years now, uh, when I try to communicate with people, it is very difficult to heal their traumas because their traumas formed during their childhood usually, and at a stage where they were not conscious about these processes. So their emotions, their basically the whole, you know, uh, healthy response of instincts, etc., they were distorted. Their emotions distorted. Their healthy responses distorted. Um, so how to heal that? How to, you know, go so deep into people's consciousness and try to figure out, try to manage and get rid of, the traumas and everything in this society, maybe even, on purpose, but probably just by luck, uh, is constructed to traumatize kids. I mean, you take them for, first of all, families are getting smaller and smaller, you know, um, and then you take the kids, even at 2 years old, 3 years old, send them to, school, someone else taking care of them. Uh, all these are traumatizing events. People don't realize it. And then the whole education system, whole, competition with others, and then you have to be that, you have then find work. The whole thing, um, even the realization that, you know, if you don't have money, the society just abandons you and you are dead. Uh, it it is traumatizing for they can sense, right? So kids, they just absorb the emotions around them and they just get traumatized by these type of events, right? um, and how to resolve this with, you know enough compassion, enough, but with reality, be real, show compassion, and sometimes I have a concept called friendly traumas. Point out to those traumas by pointing out to them, like um, how to say, like try to make people leave those traumas again, but in a more conscious, when they're, they're adults, so they're more conscious. Make them live that trauma again in a more conscious way, but letting know that you are friendly, so they are safe, and your intentions are good. They know it. There's a difference between it. So traumatizing people while they are fearful, and traumatizing people while they know that your intention is to heal them. It's like, there's a difference when you go and approach an animal and try to stop them. They are traumatized, they just run away, right? But if you go to an animal and try to take away, let's say, a thorn from them, they usually understand and they let you. They say, okay. They might be afraid, but they know that despite this will hurt a little bit, it is for my own good. So I don't think that people are, less stupid in that regard than other animals. They can understand, I believe, that your intentions are good. So show them good intention, but be real, and being real comes with uh, some level of being okay with friendly trauma, right? So you just say that, you know what, this is the reality. I know it is terrible for you, and I don't want to sugarcoat it. This is the reality. And I think more people need this. So if we do this, it takes some courage, and you can't do it everywhere. But I try to do it as much as possible. Just being brutally real. I mean, just like um, tell people this is the case if I think that it will benefit them. Um, but still, it's not the healing is not guaranteed. So there must be an internal mechanism that people can, heal and share the sanity and get rid of traumas, and then eventually, when enough people realize these things, we will have more people with absolute morality and less people with relative morality, and we will see a drop in, you know sports team investments. Footballers will earn less and less. They will, politicians will be relevant. They are not going to be taken seriously. Um, you know, People will stop uh, being motivated by their fears to fit in, but they will realize and they will say, you know, this is my real feelings about this issue. I just got rid of the fear, and within the fear, there was this my real feelings there that I actually cared about. So, thank you very much for listening. I hope this was kind of interesting for you, and maybe familiar or different. You maybe, can be useful in your daily life. And go vegan if you are not. Don't be someone with relative morality. And be anti-technology. Don't be someone with relative morality. Um, and things are very obvious. Um, uh, you know, but delusions are just everywhere, unfortunately. So take care of yourself, and see you later.